World War, the country was at war, and everybody that was 20 years old up had to register, and I had to register. And I didn't deny that this went on. I was working for my daddy on the farm. Went to the one-room school, then from out to the high school. And recently, that's what we had to do. The government called us all to register. Germany done running over all the countries in Europe practically. And there we were. And so when the time come, I went. And he gave me $20 for it. So here you are, you got $20 to start with. Yep. So I went on, caught the train. Over here in Lynchburg, went to Camp Lee. From there on, I went all the way to Texas for all my boot training. I had to take 12 weeks, and they said we didn't have time for it. We needed men so bad at that particular time. We got 6 weeks training. They sent us all back in to Camp McCoy, Wisconsin. It's Fort McCoy now. We was back our last summer visit the place. And there it was. We had to go from there that fall, October. We got back up in from Camp McCoy. We went to Northern Ireland. That's where they sent us.
For advanced training?
Second Division. That's the second engine. And yeah, we got advanced training when we got back there. Because we had to have it. We had to have it. Advanced training in Northern Ireland. And that was rained off and on practically every day there. We took it, and then we went from there. They sent us to England. That was October, and we went and sent us to England. Getting further and further to France, for the invasion forces was taking place in June that year. And this was early. This happened to be real early in January, February. We're still taking training. And we had to tackle them German soldiers. They was coming in, and that time come June the 6th, 1944. There we were. And I happened to get in the second wave. I didn't go in the first wave. I was sitting in the English Channel when it started. And they told us, be ready. Anytime to go off. The barge was sitting there to pick us up. The water was cold. That was in June 1944, June the 6th. I ain't never forgotten, can't forget it. And then we started. And then when we started like this. They went on, the first wave did. And they was practically wiped out. Because they lost 30,000 men on that beach to get in there. And there we were. I was still sitting there waiting for them. The ladder was hanging down, rope ladder, to get off. Don't get off yet. That's where the orders were, on the ship. And I was sat down. We sat down. Picked in our extra rations. Said, you're going to have to dig in. If you survive. You got to survive first. Right. 12 men, it was some big 50 caliber machine guns up high, mounted up on high, right on a cliff. And somebody had to get them, because they're firing down on us. Every once in a while, another one would get hit and drop off. You can see them dropping off like that. Then they'd bleed. You see them bleeding to death. They were. As soon as you hit the ground, hit your bullet with a 50, and then you just lay down and bleed to death, see. Didn't kill you instantly. So that's where we went on with that whole thing like that. And them 12 men had trained themselves in the division to climb them ladders. Them ladders was rope ladders with knots tied so they could pull themselves up. They had flamethrowers with them, and they had hand grenades. And the Germans had barbed wire tied all the way across entanglement, so you couldn't get in there and you had to get up that wire. And see, they had hooks on them ladders that throw them from the ground up. You could throw them about 12, 15 feet, you know, with a hook on. That'll catch on that wire up on you could pull yourself up. But they couldn't get to you till you got up there, you see. As soon as you get up there, they get you or shoot you. That's what they're doing. And so they done it. And every once in a while, they're throwing that one in a hand grenade, and you see it go boom, right on up fire. Flamethrower, you got him. You stopped that, and see, they had them all in a line. So if you got one, they keep on firing. They were smart folks. They kept it like that lined up on you, and now they had you. You couldn't get out. And this one, it hit this one, hit that one, kept on, and all of them got killed but one. Every one of them 12, 11 guys, and they all would hit the ground. He didn't live long before he was dead. They was the heroes. They got them guns off so everybody could get in now. They had to do it. And then from then on, we started fighting. Started hammering our way in. I stayed on the beach that night. Dug a foxhole, stayed in that. And they kept running tanks back over top of us, the Germans did, and they said, you better get everywhere, you got a chance. If you don't get out, you got a chance now. They're going to close in on you. They had communication lined up with their outfit with telephones, and they kept calling them to come in. And so everybody has to stay on alert that night, be looking for a counterattack. It's coming. It did come. Lost, I don't know what on that. And I said, I was Mortar. I knocked out machine guns. That was my job, knocking machine guns out. And I had enough of training on it, I could do it. I know what to do. And I knocked them out. Set up fire for them. Let them run right into a trap. I don't know how many. They don't tell it. That's the way we done. We lost heavy. And at night, I didn't get no sleep at all that night. I don't think none. I might doze a little bit in the hole, but I don't think but maybe I'd have got off and on 10 or 15 minutes, you know, just at a time. That's all I could get. You had to stay on the left. They done already told us they're going to counterattack. We already knew they was going to counterattack. The outfit was just out as far as we drove them, far as they could drive them, you know, when they started off the beach, and they're coming back. And then they started sending in reinforcements as soon as it got light. Train come in with a load of troops. Whole train. And what you think happened there? Had to drop shells on them. The Air Force, if it hadn't been for the Air Force coming in and bombing them like it would, we'd have lost it. We'd have lost it. Them P-47s and P-51s just flew right in now and coming strafing them and going down low and letting them have it. That was a bloodbath right there alone. Right there, the whole train, load of fresh troops. And they had to get in again. They had living quarters there all on that beach. And the old head general, they called him, he was gone, lay on leave. See, they had all this thing all set up for him. Done trained and trained and trained, and while I was in the States and McCoy and Ireland, and they tell you what's what. It's a secret. It's a secret. It's a secret. Don't breathe it. You can't breathe it to nobody. They got them over there listening. And somebody had to go out every night and send somebody out before we hit that beach. Some men had to get on a boat and work and find out what's going on. You send 12 out. Sometimes maybe one would get back and none wouldn't get back, and you had to wonder what's happened. Done caught them out there, you know, spies, and shoot you. You're gone. That's the way they done. And I remember when they got to England like that, still like that going, kept on and on and on and going. I can remember it as well as anything. I never forget it and can't forget it. No way I can. And I just thank you right now, the shape I'm in right now. Here I was, I stayed in, I got 86 days combat duty, that's what I got. 86 days. Can't forget it. And I seen all them men die like they did. I'm telling you. I just appreciate the way I come out, and I just don't tell you this much right now. I was already saved when I was a young guy, 16 years old. Hear this old preacher preach like he did. Give your life to the Lord. I ain't never forgot it, can't forget it, don't want to forget it. And God spared me. He spared me right there. I was wounded. I got wounded. Really, I got hit twice. I got the Purple Heart. And then the captain gave me the Bronze Star. I trained them guys. See, every time you lose a man, you got to get somebody to take his place as soon as you get your position. You got to do it. So you got to take full strength in a company. Of company, of course, I was in a company of about 200 men. That's what I was in, up and down. 240, something like that, I think. I know no more than 240 men. I got a picture of it, my company on the wall back in there now. And they stuck right there to me. And after I was wounded, they picked me up off the field. I bled pretty heavy when I got shot. At the breast walls where I got shot at, going in there. To take it, had to take it, there was heavy fortified in there. The planes was on us all the time, and the artillery fire was bad, and arm fire was too, all of it together. And I got wounded the last time, and they put me on a stretcher and carried me back to the hospital, and that's where I finally come to in that hospital. I was done bled and lost so much blood. And I'm just mighty thankful today. I'm 86 years old now, done turned. Can't do right smart work in that. Right now I can't. And my grandson, I got a grandson here, David Austin, and my grandson, he goes with me a lot, and he's got a place down here about 3 miles in a wooded area, Mobile home. And he got a lot of friends in this area too, like I have. And I just think, Lord, I have. Then I got a daughter that's living short distance from us, and 2 great-grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and a granddaughter. And Lord, that's just where I'm going here, Lord, right today. That's where I'm standing. I got some arthritis in the leg, and I'm dragging my legs on. He just set this up and wanted to do it, and then I just recently was at the hospital over yonder, had some new dentures. I met all these people over there that run the denture, and they got a nice outfit over at Salem Hospital. That's what they done, maybe some new ones. And I says, I met so many of them and know so many of them by name, and I just appreciate it, and I got a whole lot to be thankful for. And I am counting my blessings. I'm here, living here. I just give him the God to glory and the praise for what he's done for me. Jesus' sake only, amen. That's what I'm going on. 23rd day, see, by then. That's the first one I had made. See, I got the Purple Heart ribbon, I got the Bronze Star, and then the Combat Infantry Badge. Give me the Combat Infantry Badge, too. That's because I was training them guys how to handle that gun. They couldn't handle it.
What size mortar were you carrying?
Hmm?
What size mortar was it?
60.
60 millimeter?
They didn't have none of them up yonder to do.
You carried a 45 pistol, didn't you?
45 pistol, yeah. I was first gun on it. I was first gun on that thing. Well, see, all I'd done is set up and set the sights, on my target. And then the system on the right, on the left side of him, he has to drop a shell in. We can still go on with this thing, what was in a while ago, and here it is. at that particular time, that Brest, France, we got in the next morning after we got in, you know, we got in now and the Germans had stockpiled it with ammunition. It's a recent farce the same way. With ammunition and motor fuel, gasoline, they had world of it. You never seen it, so they was trying to save that for themselves if they could, but we got the biggest part of it, and the rest of it then we had to bomb it and destroy it. Right there. Great big forest, biggest sort of pine trees, and had a big bloodbath down there too, where there was. That whole town was bombed down. Our folks, we never done it if it hadn't been for our folks. And my outfit was the 2nd Division, 9th Regiment, 2nd Division, Company K. There I was. That's the time when I left home. Took my basic training. Took us 12 weeks and 6 weeks. They shipped me on, kept me going. I was on the road. And there we go here. When they capture, every time we capture any, we send them back, you know. The ones that somebody back behind to take them, you know. They're putting up barbed wire entanglements for them. Take care of the prisoners. We got a mess of prisoners down. I don't know. It's a bunch of them come over me now. Throw their hands up and quit. They didn't have a chance. And the supplies was running short on them after they done lost. They didn't have nothing to fight with. So they had that for a point right there. Anytime there's a tactic, they're going to go back on that. And that just happened to be about 4 or 5 miles from the Omaha Beach, you know, that location. They had it all to get up in the living quarters out too. For as many of them that lived there, you know. Somebody stayed on them guns all the time. They kept them like that. Actually, it's going to be a thing. And didn't know whether it really going to make a landing or not, but it made it. And they had plenty of supplies on. They had all this here hardtack to eat. You know, you eat hardtack while you're K rations and that kind of thing. And you could do that, and it's your chocolate bars. That's what I went on most all the time. I could go all day long and half the night on one. But to stay on your feet. If you couldn't stay on your feet, you couldn't be good. Now, and some of the men I heard, I didn't really know this for a fact, but a buddy of mine come to see me when I was back in the hospital back, said some of the men couldn't take it and they left. I don't know. He come to see me when I got back in the hospital in the United States. That's where I wound up. Then I got out and rehabilitated myself and got started. Back in the farm and done some farming and some painting jobs, and then I done some run a bus for a while, school bus for a while, and rehabilitated myself. And I come out all right, and I'm in fast shape now with arthritis. And the VA has done a wonderful job what they did for me, medication and everything. They done a 100% job, and I give it to them over on the Salem in Roanoke. I'm living about 80 miles somewhere on the back roads here from Roanoke, you give or take, you know, I'm in now, whichever way I go, you know. And we got some land over in a home, and I just appreciate it, how it come up. And I ring that takes care of the story pretty good. But Dave, my grandson, wanted it, you know, and he's with me too. And he's 30-some years old, you know, doing right good. He's got a whole lot of professions he can do and all like that. Sometimes on some of them you do. You can get laid off for a while, a situation like it might be today, you know. You just can't know what you can do. That's the way it happens to be with him and a lot of the other men around that age too, and the same, and some girls, some women doing it too. And now, Lord, I'm just going to get the glory and praise for the cross, the rugged cross. Got me home. Christ's sake. Amen. Looking for reinforcements, they told him you got to stop them. Couldn't do it. There's young men like I was, young German soldiers. I don't know. You know, still got some World War II veterans. We got some World War. We got World War II. I don't think many left. Not combat anyway. You know. I see a lot of them I talk with, but I don't see many of them just. You know, they've been in duty and done their duty, but as far as combat service, I ain't seen hardly any. Not hardly any. I'm just one of the few left. 86 years old. Saying a lot. See it? Nothing else. I'm doing pretty good being the age I am. I got this arthritis, got some land up in a home. Stuff. I just turned 22 already. That's when I come home on furlough from Fort McCoy. That's what it was. No, it won't. This is after I'd already been. I'm thinking about another picture. Let me see. Wounded German 88 shell hit me. We was down we going on in a right good ways, and we was at the wall, the Brest wall, big seaport in France. And there's 45 like it were. And I got hit, knocked out. But meanwhile, at the time before that, at the beach, there's a young German soldier. We kept getting some fire. We hadn't been on the beach long as it's getting dark. In June, you know, the days are longer daylight is, and it's a young German soldier, great big oak trees, some as big as some of these right here where I live. And he had a place fixed up in that tree, you know, there's already camouflage, see, June, all the leaves out, hot weather. And he had all the camouflage he needed. Nobody knew he was there. And he had a telephone wire running. You couldn't see that. And that was on the ground too till he got to the tree, but nobody see it where the stats going up in the tree. And he was giving our position away to his outfit that was there, and we done drove him out. And we kept on getting fire, you know. And he'd fire on you every once in a while. And somebody finally touched where he was. And when they did, somebody had to shoot him down. Somebody shot him down. I said, won't me. But I said, you know, I had that 45 pistol on my side. Because I was gonna own that gun, you know, that big gun. That's what I told it on one side. And 2 live hand grenades, I always carried them. So if you got yourself in a spot, you can get out. Sometimes then if you do, you can get your 30-30 caliber and bobine and hang that on you too. When you're going through towns and villages and homes, you don't know what you're going to run into. That's the way the thing going. You just run from one position to another. It's the way we always done. We run from one place. We aim get that position and take it, and we always did. Then see they done dug holes for that company that's fighting that company. We use that Foxholes. That's what we aim to do. Even if it's getting dark, you just push them till they didn't want to go. You had to push them out. And you know what that meant. I said, that's what you had to do. And then when they get to the infantry, it's firing the 3rd platoon. Got out there one time and got under fire. I remember it. They got getting shells. And the soldier was giving, German soldier was giving them position where they were. And so that was in my line then to get that machine gun. So I had no more. You had to do it. You just had to do what you had to do. There they were. When you started there, they were crunching over the guns. Young men just like we were.
lieutenant give you coordinates.
Yeah, the lieutenant, I'll tell you what happened to him. He was a platoon leader, Lieutenant Graham. His first lieutenant. And he told us that morning to attack. When we were going to attack, be ready. Where they were, their position, we going to run right in on them that morning, somewhere around 8 o'clock, he said. He started out, a sniper shot him. Didn't have no platoon leader. The section leader to give me what I'm supposed to do. It went a little while, and I had to just figure out both where they were and let them have it. That was Raymond Christopher. Sniper shot him. I said, you know, you take a field glass and get to read. You got to get to reading how far it was. Estimate the range. That's what you have to do. If you do it a while, you get so you're pretty good at it, you know. Both of them gone at the same time. To go and do what you do yourself and do it. That's all you do. Then after you get to position, then you the replacement pool comes in. Then you get you some more men take their place, or you go up and take their place. Either way you do it.
You had to train them under fire, didn't you?
Yeah, and I trained them under fire. Sure did. How to handle that mortar. Of course, they was out of replacement pool, see. Young men, just young men. Had both 6 weeks training. That's how bad they needed men now. Because like the little guy from Richmond, Virginia, gave us a haircut. Had some hand clippers, comb and scissors in his pack. Walked up and down there where the Foxholes were down. I said, I need the haircut and need the bath too. But didn't get none then. I finally got one after so many days. I don't know how many weeks it was. Cold water. They found a spring somewhere, the engineering system that goes with that, you know. It had galvanized pipe and have these sprinklers where you go on them, just go on them, you know, a bunch of them. You run on them and then you get ready. They give you some clean clothes and wash off. Just wash off in cold water, see. And then this guy was Mortar, M-O-O-R, he spelled his name. I don't remember his first name. Sniper shot him the next morning too. There it was. He gave everybody a haircut in the company along where I was. Young guy. He said when the war started, he was in Richmond, Virginia, in a barber shop. He called me and went. Give everything he had, didn't it, to his life, for his country. That's what he done. Walked up and down. You want a haircut? You want a haircut? You just sit down on the ground or somewhere or another. You can sit down so he could do it. And he kind of stooped over on his knee and give you a cut, you know. He cut hit a hair fast. That's what he done when he's here, back in the country, see. Yeah, he done it. I had quite a few experiences while I was there. I know how to protect myself, and I knew how to do. Right now, it's good, comes good in my life. I ain't much of a cook or nothing, but Dave can cook a whole lot. I eat most out all the time anyway, but I said, I can launder clothes. I laundered this morning, sheets, bed sheets and clothes. Got them now. Done a lot. Come back here. I said, him and me made a lot of vegetables on some of this land over here. All kinds of it. That's of it. And I said, I'm just going to like this in my life, you know. God spared me for a reason. Most for a reason.
How many days of combat do you have?
86 days combat duty on my service record.
You had 2 guys that carried ammunition for you?
Huh?
You had 2 guys that carry ammunition for you?
But the ammunition carriers, they have to carry ammunition. The big shells, you know, weigh 3 1/4 pounds apiece. They can carry 3 in the front. They put a pouch on them, see, and stick your head through it, see? 3 here and 3 in the back, and then they got the pack. They said loading them too heavy to tote that stuff. I told them I carried the gun. I said, if I can carry the gun, that old base plate hanging on it too, I mean, sure, you all can do that.
How much did the how much did your mortar weigh?
Mortar weighed right around about, I think that old mortar weighed about 38 or 40 pounds, a little less than 40 pounds, that base plate. The base plate was 12 pounds, I know. Set down on it, got a firing pin in the bottom, you drop a shell down on it, shoot the shell off, fire and go off, see.
How far would it go?
Well, they go 80, let me see, I done really lost my mind on how far they go. I think they go somewhere another close to a mile, what them shells will. Close to a mile. Goes on up and then on over, you know. It depends on how many depths you put on it. You got charges on them, you set them by charges, see. You get that ammunition in them round tubes, you know, see. But them boys have to get them out, and then sometime or another, but I fire some in them, I know how far to set them. And it's fins on the bottom of it, you know, on the end, so that goes up, that guides them, you know, where you want them to go. And I didn't see a one over at the camp, not one. I think he done away with that gun. That 30-30, I could do it on that machine gun, but I don't know. Terry put me on that mortar. He wanted me on it. He said, I want you on it because you know how to handle it. Terry did. Terry was squad leader. What did Sally say if I could come and let her know I was there?
Well,
Huh?
she wanted to see you again.
Yes, that's right. Where did she say she lived? I asked her around now somewhere, didn't she? Said she didn't live too far from there.
I forgot the name of the town she called.
I know she said she didn't live too far from there. I remember saying that. This thing recently when it happened, as I mentioned before, a German 88 shell hit me. I was in position firing, getting ready to fire on that machine gun, and hit me and knocked out part of my right lung and my right arm. I still got a piece, toting a piece in my back shoulder right down now, piece of that shrapnel that's gone, and can feel it, just a little piece of it in me. I had a piece, I had to go back to the hospital when I got out. It went about 5 or 6 years. I wasn't married, then I come back and got married and was having trouble with it. Started doing some farming and getting some hemorrhages. And they hadn't never really told me when I was x-rays that I had a piece, and now I come find out part of my lung was gone. Then they had to amputate that and take out part of that part. And I said, now I recently just have right now one lobe. I lost 2 lobes of my right lung in this. And I said, that's the last battle I was in. I got 2 service stars. And I was in 2 battles. I didn't know whether I was going to get out or not. And God saw me through. That's the last one. Because it took so long for us to take that position. They're so fortified, we couldn't take it. And we'd have to get some more men every once in a while to hold the position we could. There would be replacements, and they ain't got all that training to keep up with, to follow your replacement pool with men in it, with weapons and everything to follow you so far behind you. I think it's around 5 or 6 miles, maybe be 10. You just don't run to a line, you got to have it. That's the infantry fighting. I said, I don't know about this other fighting they do, but this is infantry. Infantry only. Ground folks fighting. I said, they have to come along after our folks get through and clean them up. A whole lot of them dead, and then a whole lot of them still alive fighting. That's what you do it. And I said, as far as I'm concerned about it, it's the worst sort of fighting you have to do. I don't know, it might be some others just as bad, I don't really know. But that's what it is. And I said, I ring at this boat, took care of me right down. I wound up in that hospital, stayed there. I come home and rehabilitate myself. I had to. And I said, I felt sorry for myself. I was already saved. I didn't save. I know I was ready. God had called me home. Young guy. And I said, just wandering down, I look over on that list. I go in and look at that company. There's 240 men on the ring. Wonder how many I'm going to see when I cross on the other side. Wonder. I just wonder. I cloud. I said, I just got to consider myself had a good life. And I got, after I lost my right lung like I did most, I just have some bronchitis from it, you know. But otherwise, I am. I got a good grandson, granddaughter, like I mentioned to you before, what I got. And I says, I got done good. I said, I worked like that. I come back and done all much work after done that. And yes, I did. Before I got wounded. Got myself back in good shape, got toughed myself up. But you can't toughen up, do nothing, just sit around all the time. You can't do it. You gotta get yourself toughened up. That's what you had to do. Final training, we had to take your final training, and if you you weren't in physical shape, you couldn't get out there. You couldn't stay. How you gonna stand a whole long night, maybe the next night you gotta stand another one. I know I slept, I think I slept 15 minutes that night on the beach. I think I did. I don't really know. Maybe I got in 15 minutes.
Was that the worst fighting on the beach, or was it the worst battle you was in?
Had to drive them out. They'd go so far and then they'd counterattack and come back on you. That's the way they done it. Just go so far, you know. They done lost a whole lot of men, and we had to. And then they'd turn around and come back on you.
Counterattack.
You had to let them have it. That's why them 30-30 machine guns come in that, you know, so they just mow them down. That's more easy if somebody do. To get out and shoot somebody. But it had to be done. Had to be done. So the other folks could have their freedom. Had them bonded up. They wanted their freedom. They wanted. You know good and well when it's somebody sending train loads of young men back, the enemy did on top of you. Whole train load of them. Jumping up, running in on you next morning. You got to get them. But that wouldn't have done it, I say, it won't for them planes. Fighter planes had to do it. They drove right in on them, just let them have it. Some of them crawled under the trains, hitting them like that, and all of them come over alive, had to take him catch it, you know. See, them old planes, them old fighter planes could fly down low as these trees over here. Very low as that was, when they went on that air poaching around.
Mm-hmm.
See, one of them things, and fast too. It's a P-47 and a P-51. Them two. Had a propeller on the front of them. See, a duffel room carried a tail gunner, and one on the front and one on the back, and a pilot pushing that thing around. Then you see they had to have all that ammunition in them too, if them carried. Just belts and belts rolled up, hooked on them guns so that, let's see, 5 rounds, and see them tracers go and show you where you're firing at. You see a ball of fire, you know, flying out of it. Tracer. You do that on the range too with a gun. Yeah, most of these men's dead now. You know, World War II hardly living. I think that Allen takes care of it pretty good, David. German planes, they call it Luftwaffe. They fly in overnight. They aim to catch you. They know where you dug in at, you see. Be a whole company, a whole platoon here on them hedgerows. And they fly in. And then sometime one will slip in the day, you know. They know if it did get out too low, machine gun go get them, you know. And strafe. And I've been in a hole overnight and it strafed all down. If that foxhole, I wouldn't have a chance. And tanks running all over the top of you too. Just all of a sudden one go just go right in on top of you. That's why you're in your position in your company waiting now, you see. You gotta hold it. Then sometime or another at night the Germans send patrols through the lines. Then you already hooked up, you know, to the CP down. I'll let them know they're coming. That's a company CP. A lot of German patrol come through, and they always right around anywhere from 5 or 6, maybe 10 men, soldiers, and they have rifles and bandits fixed. They say you always carry bandits too, so if you get in a tight spot somewhere and I run around with it, you got a bandage, you know, on the end of that rifle, you use that. You just have to run up to them, sock it to them, that's all you can do. And then that is just a bloodbath. That's like we've been killing hogs and cows. All over the place. You just live like it.
A lot of animals got killed in that war too, didn't they?
Huh?
A lot of animals.
Oh yeah, cows, mules, horses, just all over the place. See, we got in that June the 6th, June the 7th, on up to, you know, I was out of September the 2nd, you know, that's when it knocked me out. I was on all that hot weather. September the 2nd is when they got the last lick and they got out. I done got to the breast wall then, see.
Your helmet got knocked off one time.
Yeah, my helmet got knocked off. I was taking a position. But if I hadn't had that helmet on, I knew it had injured my head, went through it. But it's 2 of them we had. Then I had a fiber inside, see, in the steel helmet. And it went through the steel right into the fiber. Knocked over, and I didn't know where it was. I just all over that. I reached and got me one off the ground, you know. Artillery fire still falling, you see. And that's what I'm doing. I got me a note. I didn't get the one I had. Because plenty was on the ground, you know, put on. That still would protect your head. That's what protected my head. Right on the side of my head up here. I know. But I was in good shape, you know. You don't take that tight tram where you can take it, go through it. You don't need to put in your own tray. You can't do it, see. Just like take a good horse and work inside a horse if you're telling you know what's going to happen. A mule, same way. See, they started, see, no woman come in. There used to be over and go break into the land, climb 12 inches. That's how much you break at a time with a 2-horse plow. Mules and horses both. And Paul used to say like this. He say, let them blow some to get them tough because they've been around, they ain't doing nothing since they got all the crop in. Let them blow. I said, how long you talking? Well, let them blow about 10 minutes at a time, you know, to get them tough enough. And then finally you get them to the point where they're just getting pull all day. You don't have to stop. That's where you go with old mules and horses both. I done it with them. Walked all over the plantation. Then I rented all this land over here, right back down all around me for a week. Stayed on my feet too. See, you gotta have good feet. We went across one of them rivers up. I going there up down that camp. I know we went across one of them. Cause we broke 2 columns, went down in that river there and got water to drink. Cause my mouth was burning up. I done gone 25 miles and carried that blanket roll pack and everything on back. And I even had to draw one, go to the supply room. I didn't have to carry one, and they wouldn't let me just tote this. I had to tote one of them M1 rifles and all too. You know, to qualify, the qualifications, she said. And I got in. I was one of the few walked in to the camp. They said, go in and sit down right there. Sit on your bunk. Go come check you. Somebody go come there. The medical officer will come and protect your feet. Inspect your feet. Get your socks off. You know, upon doggone, he okayed me just like that. 1 canteen of water, 25 miles. See, I just won't walk it myself. Carried that, blanket roll. Whole bunch of them fell out. Now, all of them that fall out that have a Jeep or something pick them up. I said, I done gone. I'm going in. I'm going in on my own power. Terry cussed and cussed and cussed and cussed and kept cussing. He wanted to smoke and all, drink. He just cussed. He said he wanted me with him because I was tough. He wanted somebody tough could do for him. I run a Bennett coast for him one morning. He'd been drinking, you know. I told you about that, didn't I? I thought I told you about it. He was charged of quarters that night, and he got to give me a fake pass and took it, you know. I'd been in trouble and he would and got on in the camp bus run, went to Toma spot of one and got him some liquor. Brought it back. Because he's supposed to be in charge of the quarter with the company that 24 hours, you know. And I had to hide it on the bus. I had it in a paper bag and I stuck it over behind the seat. The MPs check your bus seat. You go in, your main gate. Just like the times. The guys on that they knew I had and nobody gonna give me away, you know. And then so the bus went on in, I went on in on the bus, and then nobody gonna give me away. And I got off guard. I said, man, that was a close morning. Tell you, it carried me down to guardhouse and locked me up. Locked me up with it. And then they showed it to the OD. Look here, what he come in here in the camp with. And I done it for Terry. I said, I won't tell you something, Terry. I ain't gonna do this no more. I said, my heart was beating pretty heavy when I got down out of the He said, you done me a big favor and said, you're tough. I said, I know it and I appreciate it, Terry. Appreciate you. I think I did take one drink with him before I left the altar room that night. I think I did. I realized I remember I just took a good swallow, you know what I mean? Went on to the barracks, went back to sleep. That's when, it's the only time. I said, don't ask me to do it no more. Then I run a Bennett code. He was peacetime officer, so he got caught. He didn't know Waco, Texas. 20 years old and I was about 41 or 2, what he was. And that's all he done is gamble and drink all his life. That's all he ever done. He got in, you know, National Guard, kind of like this girl over here, you know. He didn't call it National Guard, but it's in. I give it to him. Yeah, it is. I think I just went on and paid for it myself. I don't think he gave me no money for it. You could get a pint of quart or something like that for $2 or something like that. I believe I got him a quart, a big one, because I know he wanted to stay drunk like John for a day if he could, you know, and just cuss all the time. And that's what he done. That's what he done. Glad to Waco, Texas.
What about that prisoner you had to guard while you was over there?
Huh?
What about the prisoner you guarded?
Oh, yeah, that's Brownie. I had to guard him. He was from bigamy. He was up for bigamy. That's Brownie. Waiting for the truck pick him up, carry him to the Fort Leavenworth military prison. And he went a ring. That Brownie, he's just a little guy. He told me what he was going to do. I said, just get yourself ready. He's going to carry you back up yonder to the guardhouse. I said, I can lay down, but I'll get me a nap. See? So don't do. You know, where the guards had a place cut off and where you could stay next to the prisoners, you know. You know, and bunks and all that for you too. Bathroom and bunks. That's what he's doing. And so, and you see, I guard a whole lot of them now. Live ammunition, M1 rifle, marksman. See, you take your recruit. I was a recruit, and I had 6 weeks training in Texas, sending us up. And they called my name up for guard duty, so you got full guard duty. I just thought about, golly. So I had to ask some questions to the OD, you know, check me out.
What did he tell you?
Well, you marksman, ain't you? What's your name out here for? And he talked kind of, you know, tough to me. I said, yes, sir, I see it. And what you gonna do? Well, you know what to do, don't you? Why are you asking me? You qualified for the job. Now take him on down. I said, well, if you don't work, what'll I do with him here? Yeah, Captain, bring him on back up here. He's standing there hearing what they said. Now, I was shaking, I tell you, bro. I hadn't had for about 6, 7 weeks training, see? Sent me back up, and you know, I was scared. Scared to death. Shaking all over, just a recruit. And where you gotta go? We gotta go down to somebody wash windows, a motor pool, or they tell you where, you know. And somebody will show you where to go. And take your prisoner, this is your prisoner, take him on with you. And you stay how long is it? I said, we're supposed to take about 6 paces behind. All right, you're right. Keep it up on your shoulder. 6 paces. What's 6 paces? Here, about like that, ain't it?
Yeah.
About like being in the porch. That's where you stay. If you don't want to work and don't want to do it, bring him on back here.
What if he tried to escape on you?
Oh, if he escapes, you're supposed to let him do it. I'm supposed to shoot him. I don't want to shoot the man. I'm going to shoot him in the leg. I know I could hit him in the leg, you know. That's like what I was going to do. When I set that thing up, I want to look right down and get him in the leg. I won't shoot for his body. Well, I couldn't have. You know, but these guys, you know, they tough, you know. You got your list down and who you got and where you at, you know, like the guardhouse, see, how long they're supposed to be and all. See, they had a good place down there for me to eat at, good place. You'd always wanted to do.
What would have happened if you hadn't have brought him back?
Huh?
What would have happened to you if you hadn't have brought the soldier back?
If I hadn't have brought him back, well, I don't know. I'd just been in for that ring.
But
See, if he'd have got away from me, he just told me if he gets away, you come on in. Yeah, where's that? Take his place. We don't give you no trial or nothing. They said it happened to some of them around there. They lost out. Said they did. Green recruits, you know. You needed men so bad, like that's why they had a draft, you see. You see, they say right now draft wouldn't work. These guys go in and that shit. Guardhouse will stay full all the time. They done told me that. I didn't know it was that bad. Did you?
Mm-mm.
That's what they told me. They said they wouldn't shoot. They ain't gonna put up no draft. The draft will put up give you $20,000. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. Tommy told me that's what they gave you $20,000 now. Come in. I'd have never thought so. Ah. I bet that's what Stacy got over on.
Probably so.
A lot of men was in single like I was. I wasn't married, and the girls was left behind. You know, women growing up, working in garment plants or wherever they needed any help, and they could do that type of work. And they was having these fake licenses, you know, bigamy, going in for bigamy. And he said some of them was fake and some of them wasn't. Like the one I was guarding that night of Brownie, he said that they could get $50. $50 back in 1940 to 45 or 50 was the biggest sort of money. They could live on it. They could actually live on it. And women would marry these soldiers. And you could get as many of them as you want. This one particular one had 5 wives, bigamy. And he was going to, his name was Brownie, and he was waiting to truck carry him from the camp to the prison. He's going to, I don't know how long he had to go, and nothing he didn't say. I just had to guard him with a rifle and live ammunition put us out. For a while at that particular time, he said that these women were getting $50 a month. That's why they married them, so they could have that money. So that's better money working all day in a factory. That work in a factory all day, you know. You married, you get $10 all day to work. All day long. Whole bunch of them like that. Yeah, combat fighting in the loans. All our rations was airlifted. They drop them, you know, the parachutes. And the Germans sometimes would get ours, were close to the lines where they was fighting, where we was fighting at. The Germans would get ours sometime. And I didn't smoke it. I won't do no smoking. Sometimes I told to pack in my pocket and would smoke one at night. I go down in the hole and sit there with one, puff on one. Most of all of mine I got, I just give away. And they had chewing tobacco. Sometimes I kept me a plug and take a chew of tobacco. All right, the Germans always wanted American cigarettes. And they had them in now. And had all the K rations, and that's where they dropped them. Had these wooden crates, they dropped them down in wooden crates. And see, the lines were close together right there. Sometimes you could step a little ways, you right over that line, they could do us the same way. That's foot soldier. That's where foot soldier lives. You live right there just like that. And as I mentioned before, you don't get no baths or nothing. You get water around up where you can find it somewhere in farmhouses, or them old wells down. Or either if you're close enough, you can get there to branch or creek one, you know, drinking water.
Mm.
That's what I had to do. I got mine. And the Germans had to do the same thing. And then sometimes you get some, you find a soldier or something others out there in the water. Been down, you done been there getting water there, see, they did. Somebody that got shot right there, you know. That's what you had to do. What you didn't know that hurt you no way. And you'd eat what you could get. Them rations, I said, they had a chocolate bar was a good one. Give you a lot of pound. Put it by Hershey. That was a good one. Put them in them packs and told them with you. And it stayed in good shape. I always kept my extra one all the time. And then after I took a position, I was kids right there. They didn't have to eat. You have to pull them out and give them to them. You know, kids walking through the towns. They didn't know where their mamas were and their daddies were or nothing. That's where we wound up right there. Just to get Joe's and throw it every time to them. And then God would always provide for you so you get yourself a number. That's right there. guess that's the way it went like that. And I don't really get you a chance. You could sit down and get you something to eat at night, you know. You could do that. Because the day is long right down to summertime, you know. Moonshine. The only thing you had to watch were German patrols coming through at night. They'd come through at night. We'd send ours out, and I didn't never go on no patrols. I didn't have to. I'd stay with that gun I had all the time, that big gun. And sometimes, you know, when they went out, you had a certain time by light to think it'd be even nobody come back in. They'd been captured or killed. Sometimes maybe one or two would get back, and they didn't get them all. That's the way it went. One's coming in this morning. No, none didn't come in yesterday morning. You gotta keep out there, and you gotta keep in touch and know what to do. If you don't do that, you don't know nothing about that. That's the kind of fighting you have to do. That's the way it went. You get it?